Hello everybody, this is Sportman16, and for this video right here, I'm going to be talking about Anime St. Louis 2019. So basically right off the back, Anime St. Louis for this year was awesome like it always is, and me and my parents have already come to an agreement that I'm going to be planning on going to Anime St. Louis again next year for 2020, which the date for Anime St. Louis next year will be May 1st through the 3rd, which is basically the first weekend in May for next year. So that's already something cool to look forward to. But in terms of what happened at Anime St. Louis for this year of 2019, it was about what I was expecting to happen. Me just, wandering aimlessly in the St. Charles Convention Center for hours on end, playing in the game room, play like some Smash Bros. Ultimate with a lot of people, which was really cool. I won a few, I lost a few, which was expected. But it was all cool. I mean, there was a bit of a bummer for me, which was I wasn't able to get myself a hotel room for this year because, well, personal kinds of drama happened with my two closest friends, John and Liz, which I'm not going to bother talking about because that just made things way too personal, and I just really don't want to think about that again. So yeah, basically I bumped into them, got to talk to them, and got to bump into some old friends that I've hung out with in the past, because that's always one thing that I like when going to Anime St. Louis is to basically meet up with old friends. Just kind of talk for a little bit, catch up on old times. It was all good. But the one person who I really enjoyed being with at Anime St. Louis throughout that whole, well, I guess not say the whole time, but most of the time was Ren. And I know I probably said this in the last time that I talked about ASTL last year, and how everything went down with me and her last year, and, well, I'm just going to say it again if I haven't. Ren is, without a doubt, just the most awesome girl I have ever introduced myself to. I mean, seriously, she's just really awesome. I mean, yes, there's a big old age difference between the two of us by about 10 years, so that kind of thing is out of the question, but honestly, I could really care less. Because if I wanted to have a relationship with a girl, it would be more closer to my age. But that's the point. The point of it being is that for the last few hours of Friday, most of Saturday, I got to hang out with her, and I just felt like I was kind of having the time of my life, even though I didn't really say much. That's kind of a thing about me. I tend to be socially quiet a lot of the time, but I do talk and want to try and be a bit more talkative and social. That's just one of the things that I want to try and improve with my life is, actually talk to people who I don't really know too much of at the time. And if y'all probably would have saw from the previous video that I uploaded was the fact of it was Ren dressing up as Sailor Uranus doing DDR with a dude who I clearly did not know of, but if y'all saw the dude wearing the white DDR shirt, he had some serious movement with those feet of his. And just that one level, or I think it was like that last level that those two were on, seeing that dude's feet just moving around like crazy, and Ren had that stage on level 9 easy, and it was that hard for her. Oh my god, it was just so good. I mean, that dude was just there almost the entire time of that DDR machine. And one thing that I did forget to do was the fact that ASTL this year had a Mario Kart 8 tournament, but I was focused on hanging out with Ren that I forgot to enter the tournament. But honestly, considering the fact that it was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I had to use like those little Joy-Con controllers, because I tell ya, playing Mario Kart 8 on those little Joy-Con controllers, it really took a toll on my thumb. But what the cool thing was, later during that weekend, I got to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with like 3 other people, and surprise, surprise, one of the people who was playing Mario Kart 8 with me was a Bowsette cosplayer. And let me tell you, I think I saw like maybe like 4 or 5 Bowsette cosplayers, and saw like, I think like 2 or 3 Boozettes. I even saw a Chain Chompette as well. And unfortunately I didn't get a picture of her, which I'll be saying that most likely as of this point right now you people are pretty much seeing a slideshow of the pictures that I took throughout the entire convention, and they'll most likely be looping as I'm talking here because, well, that's really the best I can do. But yeah, in terms of what Ren was cosplaying as, on Friday she was cosplaying as Penny. As well, if anybody would have seen from my slideshow last year, that was basically her just cosplaying as Penny. But what the funny thing was that when I initially saw her, I kind of jokingly just kind of snuck up on her and I startled her. And the point that the sound that she made that she got startled actually startled me, and my heart was racing and my hands were actually shaking. So that was all fun right there. But yeah, throughout the rest of Friday and most of Saturday, we just hung out, talked and all that junk. I mean, on that Friday, I went to the I think it was called the 90s prom, even though it was technically just more of just a Friday night rave anyways. I was hoping to dance with Ren at that time, but unfortunately she just decided to just go up to her hotel room and just sleep in for the night. And what was even worse was that, like, well before that dance happened, she told me to stay put because she was going to go to her hotel room to do something. And I was sitting there till, like, a little after 10, and then I just decided, like, forget it, I'm just going to go to the dance. And I felt pretty glad that I did. And when I got to the dance, there was that dance circle. And once the dance circle was open, I just decided to take center circle and just dance like a goof, because, well, I don't really exactly have the best dance moves in the world, but I just dance anyways because I just don't care. I mean, the people cheered for my dance moves a little, because, like I said, I don't have the best dance moves. But yeah, when it came to Saturday, and around Saturday afternoon, I actually attended my friend Liz's panel, which was it was basically a pun tournament, where it was basically a few people enter a tournament to see who can be the most stone-faced when it comes to the other person making a pun. And the title, well, she said it was not her most creative, but she called it the most punishing tournament. I mean, I felt happy for her that she was able to get her own panel going, and from what I heard her say after the panel, is that her and her friends, Zen and Amanda, I think her name was, said that for next year they want to try and make it an 18 plus panel, which they can do a whole lot better. And what was actually, well, not really all that surprising, is that in the punishing tournament, one of the contestants was a Yang cosplayer. And for anybody who knows the RWBY series, is that back then Yang used to do puns, bad ones at that. You could definitely see like Yang make bad puns during a RWBY Chibi. And what was even worse was that later on in Ruby Chibi, because, well, spoilers right here, later on in Ruby Chibi, when Tai Yang comes into the series, he makes the oh so terrible dad jokes. But, yeah. And I will just say this, Liz, if by any chance you're seeing this video, I just want to say that that panel that you did was enjoyable, to say the least. And if you do get the 18 plus panel for the Punishing tournament next year, I will try my best to attend that. Just to show my support for you and all that. But yeah, trying to think anything else that happened on Saturday. I did go to, well, no, I didn't actually go to the rave for Saturday night. I actually decided to, just hang with Ren at the Nerdy Night Lounge where they had karaoke. I didn't do karaoke because, well, even though I wanted to sing, I felt like pretty much saying that I wanted to sing the karaoke, but the list was already filled up by the time I got there, so bad luck for me, but it was still a good time there. I mean, Ren got to play a game of Jenga, and another friend of hers was basically was coloring a My Little Pony coloring book because it was just there. And I just sat there and listened to people do karaoke. And it was just good times all around on that Saturday. But then when it came to nearing the end of Saturday, I was basically asking Ren if she was going to be there for Sunday, and unfortunately she wasn't going to be there and all that. And well, I was a bit upset. And then when she was getting ready to leave for the Nerdy Night Lounge to head on to her home, that's where I started to get emotional. Because, again, like I said earlier, Ren is just a really awesome girl, and I really wanted to spend as much time with her as I could. And basically, like, I basically, I guess kind of in my own way, escorted her out of the building. And then when it came to almost time for her to finally leave, that's when I really got emotional. I basically asked for one final hug, and it almost got to the point where I almost legitimately started crying because I was just gonna miss her so gosh darn much. Because I know I only have been hanging out with her for this Anime St. Louis and last year's ASTL, but she was already such an awesome girl that she was basically like a little sister to me, and she pretty much said that because of how an awesome guy I was to her, I was like a big brother to her and all that, And basically, I do believe it was earlier that Saturday, I actually gave her something as a show of generosity and really just to show how good of a friend I can be to someone. And what it was basically a drawing I did of Penny from Ruby, and basically I drew it all myself, colored it, and I decided that I just wanted to be a good friend and just give it to her. And when I gave it to her, she had like the most happy look on her face. And I was definitely not expecting what she was going to give me in return. And what she gave me in return was it was basically a kiss on the cheek. She actually gave me a kiss on the cheek because she was that happy to get something like that from me. And again, I was just not expecting that. And pretty much once after she gave me that kiss on the cheek, it's like that was just one of the best moments of that ASTL. And when it came to later that Saturday night, when she was getting ready to leave home, after all the hugging, and after that big final hug, and wiping away my tears, I politely asked for one more kiss on the cheek, and she pretty much did it, just so that way I could calm myself down and all that. Because again, I was just being so emotional because it's not going to be until ASTL next year that I'm going to see her again. I mean, I'm just going to say to, well, Ren, if you are basically listening to me or basically watching this, I just want to say that if I had the opportunity to go and visit out to you all the way out in Warrensburg, I would seriously do it. I would seriously visit you if I was given the opportunity. I mean, seriously, I would, because you're just so gosh darn awesome. And I really want to spend more time with you, but again, you're just so stinking far away. But anyway, I think with enough talking about for Saturday, basically in terms of Sunday, I was just there for like just a few hours, for like, I think it was like 5, because it was just nothing more than just a cool down day, and just, you know, saying goodbye to old friends, and just getting ready to go home for the weekend, or for the week. But believe me, basically spending the weekend at a convention center, wandering aimlessly, basically standing around and sitting down all day and night, it takes its toll on the body. Because after that weekend, my feet and calf muscles were sore. And really, even still now of this recording, which is the Monday after ASTL, May 6th, my calf muscles are still feeling a little sore, as well as my feet. But basically, that's just how it really is after, basically the Monday after the convention. And the fact, from what I heard from Anime St. Louis, is that the amount of people who actually attended Anime St. Louis broke their current attendance record, which was from last year was around 5,000 people, I believe. I think it was like 5,000 or 5,500, up to over 6,000 people. Yeah, over 6,000 people attended Anime St. Louis this year, which is amazing. I mean, yeah, the place did get crowded at times, but we still managed to get through it. And thankfully, we managed to get through it without a hitch. And once again, I am definitely looking forward to going to Anime St. Louis for next year. And my parents have pretty much told me that due to the hotel mishap of this year, they're just basically deciding to, you know, split a cost and get a hotel room for myself this year. Even though I kind of wish for a hotel room for this year, even if it is my own, I wish I could get like maybe a friend or two to room with me, but that's a long ways away from now. Like, it won't be discussed about until like January, February, or March of next year. So there's plenty of time to think about that. But yeah, basically Anime St. Louis this year was fun. I mean, I did have my emotional moment on that Saturday night because of saying goodbye to Ren for the weekend and knowing how much I'm gonna miss her and all that emotional stuff and whatnot. But it was still fun to go into the game room and, you know, play Smash Bros with people. And the people did respect me for what I did. Like when I pulled off some moves that I wasn't intending on doing, like one match that I did with as I was playing as Incineroar, that I basically did cross chop out the ledge and took somebody with me. and they respected me for it. And that was all cool. But yeah, I think that'll pretty much do it for the talking for Anime St. Louis of 2019. And hopefully also by Anime St. Louis next year I get a new stinking camera, because the camera that I used to take pictures was starting to, you know, go all cattywampus on me, because the fact that it just could not for its life read my SD card, and the fact that the battery cover that holds the batteries, I got sick and tired of it, because a few years ago at a previous Anime St. Louis, I think it was like either 2011 or 2012, that I accidentally dropped my camera on concrete, I might add, and damaged the battery flap hinge. So basically I had to use tape in order to hold the battery cover in place until I got a new tripod that it just held by itself. But I'm just getting really sick and tired of my old camera. So basically for Christmas for me next year, for Christmas for me this year, I'm gonna be asking for a new camera. I mean, not a bigger or better camera, but just a new one, like how I did with my phone, because the phone that I had previously was like an old flip phone Nokia. And now basically I moved to an Android now, and I already like it. But anyway, that'll pretty much do it for this talk. I kind of felt like I talked more than I should have, or I guess I had a better right amount, which, yeah, whatever. So thank you guys so much for listening, and also I hope you guys enjoyed the photos. And just gonna say this on a final note, for anybody, basically what I'm saying is, for anybody who attended Anime St. Louis and is watching this video, if you saw yourself in any of the photos, feel free to leave a comment so that way I know it was you. So that'll pretty much do it. Thank y'all so much for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed seeing the photos, and I'll just be seeing you guys for whenever the heck I decide to upload something. So I'll see you guys then.